Winning Blueprint presents. It's the Redskins Report. So it's everything Redskins and anything of the sort. That's right, there's nothing here to hide. Skins colors are so bold, man, I wear 'em with pride. So get this Skins Report. Recap of Sunday's game and anything of the sort. Whether it's losses or wins, it's all skins. Come get it. I'm holding down the fort. You know why? 'Cause it's the Redskins Report. Man, can't nobody tell me that, man. I've been watching Redskins football since I was 3. Where were you at on January 12th, 1991? I know where I was at. I was in my room crying because the Redskins just lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's real. I'm serious. That's real. Man, just tune into the show, man. Just tune in. The Redskins Report.
So we cut the lead to 21-20. And that's huge because now it's only a one-score game. So the Ravens get the football after Kai Forbath kicks the football out of bounds. That's a no-no. That's a Cardinal sin. In this game, it probably wasn't as bad because they had Jacoby Jones back there. And just want to tell the Redskins special team and commend them for the bang-up job they did on Jacoby Jones. He never really got loose. He had one really good return on us, but for the most part, we kept him under wraps. He didn't have space to do anything. I love our special teams unit. I love our special teams unit. I put our special teams coverage teams against anyone's in the league because we don't give it up. You know, you get something against us, you're putting in work because we don't give it up often. We don't give it up. And, you know, when you got guys like Niles Paul and Lorenzo Alexander, you know, one-man gang out there covering on kicks, hard to do anything because those guys get it done. So, you know, kudos to the special teams unit, punt and kickoff coverage, because they were both dynamite in this game. And that was one of the keys to the game. Don't allow Jacoby Jones to get loose. Don't allow him to do anything. Don't give them any cheapies, please. They said, no. There will be none of that. Don't worry about that. Has there been any cheapies all season long? No. So why will there be any today? Don't worry about it. We got this. Pump your brakes. I said, okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure because he's so explosive. He said, I understand. I understand your worries. We got it. Don't worry about it. Cool. So, Kai Forbath kicks it out of bounds. They start at the 40. I don't like them starting at the 40 because Jacoby Jones wasn't doing anything. He wasn't getting the ball to the 40 himself. You don't want to give the Ravens anything. However, the defense, and this is the thing that frustrated me in this game. We could never get both sides of the ball in junction with each other. And we couldn't get everything in unison. We could never be cohesive as a team. Either the offense was going and the defense wasn't, or the defense was going and the offense wasn't. Like, there's a stretch from the end of the second quarter to about the beginning of the fourth quarter where the defense was dominant in this game. I mean, we were blitzing on third downs, getting off the field on third down. I mean, they got the ball at the 40-yard line. They had to punt. And that was the best field position in the game for either team up until that point. They got the ball ready at the 40-yard line. We're talking about 3 first downs and you're probably in field goal range. They have a really good kicker in Tucker, the rookie from Texas. You know, a couple first downs and you're in field goal range. They couldn't even get that. I mean, we started to really buckle down on them. We started stopping Ray Rice in that run game. You know, minimal gains for Ray Rice and Bernard Pierce. Forced Flacco to throw, and I told you he hadn't been throwing that much in this game because they were running so effectively. So when they did ask him to throw, we were coming after him sometimes, and we were hitting home. We were getting to him. And so we got off the field. They had to punt us the ball. We had probably our worst drive of the game after we get that stop, after they start the drive at the 40-yard line. They punted to us. They get us deep in Redskin territory, and Robert Griffin III, this is what I had talked about earlier with him holding on to the football too long. You can't hold the ball in the pocket. It's okay to hold on and extend the play, but you need to get out of the pocket if you're going to do that. No, the pocket's there, and it's there, and it's there. Now you got to get out. You got to have that internal clock that says, all right, it's time for me to get out of here. Trouble's coming soon. And Robert, in this game, at times, didn't have that clock going off with the sense of urgency that he needed. His alarm clock wasn't going off. Got to get out of here now. They're coming. And that's why he was sacked 3 times on the day. Because he wasn't getting out of the pocket sometimes. And on that possession, he killed any kind of the possession that we were going to have by getting that sack on, second down or whatever down it was. After that, it was, second or third and 18, whatever it was. We just gave it up with the draw to Evan Royster. We punted the football. And see, Sam Rocca thought he had a phenomenal day because the amount of hang time that he was getting on his punts allowed the coverage to get down there and get in position to stop Jacoby Jones. There were no line drives that allowed him to get his hands on the football and have ample space to do damage. Those punts had hang time and they had distance. It's one thing to have hang time, is another thing to have hang time and distance. And I thought Sam Rocca did a phenomenal job of kicking the football and giving us an opportunity to get down there and cover those kicks. So he boots it. And Jacoby Jones muffs the football. This is why I said the officials had a rough day. They had the Haloti Ngata blunder. I thought that D'Angelo Hall call was a bad call, and this was an even worse call on Niles Paul. Didn't touch him. Jacoby Jones dropped the ball on his own. He recovered it, but it should not have been fair catch interference. And there was a foul on the Ravens on that play with a holding penalty. So they would have been backed up because, again, they got good field position because Redskins went 3 and out and they had a sack. So Sad was punting from his own end zone. He got off a solid kick, but they were going to have the football close to Redskins territory. Instead of it being a holding penalty and sending them back 10 yards, which would have been great, it's offsetters, which I thought was a bogus call on Niles Paul, who was just standing there, never touched him. Either way, we have to re-kick it. And it actually ended up being, kicks it even better this time, the Sav. Higher, further, but Jacoby Jones tried to bust off a return on us. Luckily enough for us, we're a good special teams unit. We tackle on special teams. We got them down. So, they're in Redskins territory. Maybe 2 first downs and they're in field goal range. Defense wasn't having it. 3 and out, they got to punt the football. And that's what I'm talking about. The defense was playing really good football for a stretch at the end of the second to about early in the fourth quarter. Great football by the defense. Offense couldn't get it going. We were stuck in the mud, literally stuck in the mud at FedEx Field. We just couldn't get it going. So we get the football back, and at this point now, we just need to flip the field position. We've been stuck in our own end zone, in our back half of the field for a long time now. We just need to get some first downs, move the football out of our own end zone, out of the shadow of our own end zone. And if nothing else, flip field position and make the Ravens have to drive. They've been, flirting right around midfield for the last 2 possessions. How many times do you think this defense is going to stop them and not allow them to get 2 or 3 first downs, or not allow them to get a chunk play and get in the field goal range or get in the scoring range? Flip field position, if nothing else. Even if you don't score any points, just flip it and make the Ravens have to drive the length of the field to get anything on the scoreboard. So we do get a couple of first downs, have something going. It looks a little promising. Robert doesn't make the best throw in the world. Pierre Garçon still should have caught the football, and he dropped it. This is something that you'll get from Pierre from time to time. I already told you that. I said, look, Pierre is a guy that in Indianapolis, he had a flair for the dramatic. He dropped the simplest of passes and then catch and make the most spectacular acrobatic catch. Remember the catch he made against us when he was a Colt? That one-handed grab on the sideline in between 2 defenders? He'll do that. And we've seen that from him this year, where he makes a great catch. We saw the catch against the Cowboys. Running one way, turns his body the other way, leaps in the air, plucks it from behind him, gets down, makes a play. We've seen him make incredible plays, but we've also seen him drop the football. That's what he does. Giveth, he taketh away. It's okay. I wasn't mad because we did what I wanted us to do. Even though I would love for us to extend that drive and get points, we got a couple of first downs. We got the football from the shadow of our end zone. Now we can punt comfortably and feel good about flipping his field position. And Sav delivered another excellent punt. And this time, Lorenzo Alexander got down there and covered the punt. Just as well as he kicked it, it was covered that much better. And so we not only did our job by getting a few first downs and flipping field position, special teams did their job, and now the Ravens had to go about 77, 80 yards to get a touchdown because now they were at the 20-something instead of being at the 40 at midfield getting the football. So that was good to see, the offense and the special teams work in unison to make sure that the Ravens had to drive the length of the field. And the way the defense was playing, I felt good, even though I said this offense isn't sustaining drives. This defense is going to wear down. At some point, you knew this defense wasn't going to be able to keep up playing at the pace that they were playing at because the offense wasn't sustaining drives. They were putting this defense on the field repeatedly. You knew they were going to wear down at some point. And that's what happened on this drive. We're in the fourth quarter now, and we're right around this 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark. Time for the Ravens to go on the drive. I knew it was coming because the defense was doing their part. Offense wasn't doing theirs. And so it was only a matter of time before the Ravens were able to wear us down and get something going on offense. And here it was. Bad tackling by the Redskins on defense. You knew it was going to continue to happen. It was not a good day for us tackling. And on this particular drive, third downs killed us. We got to third down about 4 times. And they picked it up every single time on this drive. My thing was, hey, it's okay. Hold them to a field goal. Let's win this game with a touchdown. Hold them to a field goal. Once they picked up that last third down, though, and got a chunk play down inside, the 20-yard line and to about the 9-yard line. Once they got that last chunk play and got us and got in the red zone, I said, there's no way we're keeping them out the end zone at this point. And wouldn't you know it, the next play they handed to Ray Rice. He maneuvers in through traffic, touchdown, and they go up 28-20. But that's why that stretch of those turnovers in the third quarter and us getting field goals was huge. Because had we not got one of those field goals, it's a 2-score game now. And we're talking 2 scores, 4 minutes left in the game. We don't have time for 2 scores. We had struggled all second half to put up points. For us to get 2 scores at that point would have been all but impossible. So the fact that we were able to muster 2 field goals and cut it to a 1-point game, giving us that margin of error that we needed to keep it at a 1-score game if, in fact, the Ravens later on scored a touchdown. And here's that case coming to fruition. They score a touchdown and extend their lead to 8. Still a 1-score game, though, so we still have hope. So I felt good. I said, look, it's only a 1-score game, 8 points. The one thing I had to hang my hat on, I had my hat and I hung it on the coat rack. I had something to hang my hat on, and that coat rack was Robert Griffin III. Because the one thing I could say about Robert Griffin III all season long, he's never, ever let me down. He's never let you down. He's never let any of us down. Because think about it. At no point this season have we been trailing at the end of a ball game, turned the football over to Robert Griffin III and said, go make a play for us, go get us points, take us to overtime, go get us a win. Do whatever it is we need you to do to prolong this game or get us the win. At no point have we turned the football over to him and him not bring us back results. It's never been his fault when it hasn't gotten done. You remember the Giants game. We gave him the football. He took us down the field, got a touchdown. Defense gives it up. We give him the football back again, and he's taking us down the field again. Santana Moss fumbles. Think about the Tampa Bay game. We're winning the whole game. Tampa takes the lead late in the game. We hand Robert Griffin III the football, say, hey, go get us a win. We need a field goal for the win. Go get us a win. He takes us down the field. We get a win. You go back to the Rams game. We're losing. We're losing by 3. We need a field goal to tie it. We need a touchdown to win. We hand Robert Griffin III the football. We say, hey, young fella, go get us a win. Go get us a tie. Go get us a field goal, take us to overtime. He takes us right down the field. If not for the Josh Morgan mishap, we're in field goal range. And really, Josh Morgan should have got that first down. It shouldn't even came to that. But don't worry about it. Robert Griffin III did his job. He got us in field goal range. Wasn't his fault that Joshua Morgan had that blunder, forced us to kick a 62-yard field goal when we lost that game. But just think about it. Just think about it. Every time we've given Robert Griffin III the football in a crucial spot, look at the Giants game. You're down 6, 7, 8 minutes on the clock. We need a touchdown. 10 minutes left on the clock. He takes us down the field. 4-minute offense. He does everything that needs to be done to extend that game, win that game, run out the clock, we win, we beat the Giants. Same thing against the Cowboys. Cowboys trying to make that furious comeback. What does Robert Griffin III do? Calm, cool, collected, takes us down the field for that game-clinching field goal that extended the game, extended the lead to a 10-point game. Cowboys couldn't catch up at that point. That's what I'm talking about. He's never let us down. Never. Not one time did we give him the football and him come up short on 4th down and we lose the football game. It hasn't happened yet. So I had something to hang my hat on. That coat rack was Robert Griffin III. I could hang my hat on it. So he gets the football back, and we had a scary moment. Because now Paul returned the football, he fumbles. And the ball, it was one of those wet days, so if the ball hits the ground, it's not bouncing anywhere. It's hitting the ground, and it's dying. He fumbles right on the sideline, and a gust of wind could have just blew the ball out of bounds. But instead, it hits the ground, and it dies. It just stops right on the sideline. I said, you got to be kidding me. And, of course, there's no Redskins around. None to speak of. There's a Ravens defender, and I'm like, oh, hell. That's it. They recover this, game's over. Because they could run it 3 times, not get a first down, kick a field goal, we lose. Because they were already in Redskins territory, deep in Redskins territory, if they recover that fumble. Luckily enough for us, he wasn't smart enough to make sure that he recovered it in bounds. He just went and pounced on it like a maniac. And in doing so, he didn't get full possession of the ball as he was sliding out of bounds. The ball moved. He never gained full possession. And I'm screaming at the TV. He didn't have full possession. And I said, these officials have had a terrible day. But you can rectify it and change everything with one call. We need it. You have had a terrible day. But you can make everything okay with one good call. And that's for you to go under the booth, look at this, see that the ball moved, he never had full possession, give me the football back. That's the best thing that you can do all day. All the wrongs that you have had, all the ills that you have had as an officiating crew today, you can cure them with one right call. Give me the football back and give me a chance to win this football game. Don't take my last ditch effort. Don't take my last gasp. Don't take my last breath from me by you making a mistake and giving the Ravens the football. We already made the mistake of fumbling. Don't compound matters and make them worse by you giving them the football. They made the right call. We get the football back. And from that point right there on, I said it's destined. We're supposed to win this game. We're supposed to win this game. Nothing's going to stop us from winning this game. I feel so good at this point. Because if we're going to lose, and past Redskins teams, that's a fumble that the other team recovers, we lose the game. But not this year, not this team. It's different. You feel it. In past years, I don't feel like we're coming back. Once we get down by 8 to the Ravens, a team that's better than us, it's time for us to self-destruct, crumble under the pressure, and lose the game. I didn't feel that way at all in this game. I always felt like there was always a chance. If there was a 1% chance, then we got a shot. And after that fumble went our way, the call went our way, it was the right call. After it went our way, I said, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. And I felt confident saying that. And so, I said, all right, Robert, here it is. Crunch time. This is when legends are born. This is when legends grow. And this is where champions are made. You want to go to the postseason? You got 4 minutes, 39 seconds to prove just that you want to take this team to the postseason. Because even if we lost this game, we weren't done. But you don't want to lose this game. We don't have a margin of error. That's gone. When you start 3-6 and you're losing to teams like the Carolina Panthers, there is no margin for error. That's gone. That's out the window. You got to win football games. And I said this was the biggest test of the season for us. A 9-3 football team at FedEx Field. Got to win that game. We haven't beat quality opponents for the most part all season long. This was the best test. Needed to pass this test. So we get the football, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We get a sack. It's second, it's 2nd and 19. We get backed up. It's 2nd and long. And you know Rob is not going to allow us to be in a sticky situation. It's already 2nd and long. So Rob scrambles out. And again, I felt like this didn't even need to happen because we had timeouts. You know, we pick up a first down, and instead of us settling down, we decide to rush up to the line and run a play right before the 2-minute warning. Was not necessary. But we wanted it, for some reason, it was imperative that we got a playoff. We just felt compelled to get a playoff. So we get sacked. It's a rush play. Guys aren't set up. We get sacked. So now it's 2nd and 19. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. All 3 of our timeouts. And that's why it's important that you save your timeouts in the second half. You don't waste your timeouts because you never know what that could mean. You never know what that might mean down the stretch. You need your timeouts. Every last single one of them. They're precious. So, we got all 3 of our timeouts. Full complement. So it's now 2nd and 19 because of that rushed play by us. I don't see what the reasoning was behind that. So Rob says, I'm not going to put us in a compromising 3rd down situation. I'm going to get out of the pocket and I'm going to run. So he takes off. And this is what makes him dynamic. This is what makes us a dangerous team, especially in a 2-minute situation. When teams want to go man-to-man, turn their back to the offense, turn their back to the quarterback, you don't get pressure. If you try to bring it, or you don't, and Rob escapes the pocket, now you're in trouble because he's the fastest guy on the field most times. So that defensive end, even if he has an angle, he's going to outrun that angle. That linebacker that's coming off the pace, he's not going to catch him. So Rob runs out of the pocket, runs by a few guys, picks up about 12, and then this is Rob, and we've seen this from him. You know, when the game's on the line, he's not going to slide, he's going to dive, he's going to try to make things happen. Sometimes he's got to get down, but I'm not going to fault him for being a football player because at the end of the game, that's what he turns into. He turns into a football player. He's no longer a quarterback only. He's a football player now because the game's on the line. He's going to sell out. He's going to put his body on the line, and sometimes to a fault. And he took a shot, and it was a freak accident, like he said. You know, luckily enough for him, if that hit wasn't flush on the knee, if that's on the knee, that's the Willis McGahee injury from Miami. That Fiesta Bowl game against Ohio State where he had that gruesome injury. The one where he jumped in the air, got hit flush on his knee, and broke his leg. The one that had him sliding on draft boards in the NFL and allowed him to be drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Remember that injury? That's what that injury would have been because the force at which Haloti Ngata hit him with and his leg being in the air, vulnerable, he would have broke his leg. But luckily enough for Robert, he hit him on the thigh of his leg and not the knee flush. He hit him on his thigh, and the impact of that hit hyperextended his knee and sprained his knee. We called a break. Because if that's flush on the knee, he's done for the season. No question about it. Seen that happen many a times. He was done. The fact that he could get up and walk spoke volumes because I thought he was done. I mean, just the impact of that hit, the way his leg whipped back, I said, oh, man, that's not good. That's not good at all. But he was able to get up. He wasn't able to put a lot of pressure on it, but he was able to get up. So, Redskins used the timeout. And he already had said, as soon as he came off the field, if you were watching the telecast closely, he told Coach, give me one and I'm going back in. The guy's fearless. He's a warrior. He's tough. You can never question his toughness. Never. And so, Kirk Cousins comes in, and all I'm saying to Kurt is it's 3rd and about 6. Kurt, don't throw an interception. Whatever you do, don't throw an interception because even if you don't complete a pass here, this is 4 down territory. We got one more shot. Don't turn it over. And Kurt really waited too late to throw this football on this particular play. He took way too long. He was late. And luckily enough for us, that Baltimore Ravens defender could not help himself. Chris Johnson had to put his hands on the receiver. Luckily enough for us, he put that back arm and he turned Santana Moss, got the PI flag, gave us 4 more downs to which to work. So that was huge. So that allowed Robert to come back in the game. That one play, first down, Robert can come back in now. He doesn't have to run around. All right, we got to protect him. Protection is at a premium now because he can't move. He's not running anywhere. So we got to protect. So, we bring in Logan Paulson to help shore up protection. We got 3 receivers in the game. I feel good because I don't feel like they can cover us. And sure enough, he hit Santana on the crossing route. Santana has the presence of mind to not only pick up yardage, but also get out of bounds, which is great because we don't need Robert feeling like he needs to hurry. We already had to use 1 timeout to get Robert off the field. We don't need Robert to have to run down the field. We need to be able to allow him to walk down there. He's already hurting. He's limping. Allow him to walk down, call the play, settle down, everyone get their wits about themselves, and not be in panic mode. So that achieved a lot of things. First down and out of bounds. Stop the clock. So then Robert is able to drop back. Beautiful protection again, and it had to be at its best because, again, Robert can't run anywhere. Finds Pierre Garçon on a strike, on a laser, on one leg, nonetheless. Laser. 30 yards down the field. Now we're in Ravens territory, and we're deep in Ravens territory. We're about at the 25-yard line or so. But that throw came with a price tag. And that price tag was Robert Griffin III. He put all of his weight on that leg, and that was it. That was it. He couldn't do it. Shades of Byron Leftwich at Marshall when he could barely move and a lineman had to carry him down the field. Robert was limping, and he could barely get down the field. And I was waiting for Trent Williams or one of those guys to come and get him. But they were down the field. They were doing their job. They were like, hey, clock's running. We got to get down there to spike it. They didn't realize that their quarterback was struggling 25 yards behind them trying to get down the field. He barely made it down there. He limped, and then he said, I got to come out. And he got down there, and they snapped the ball. I don't know why they snapped the ball. Why didn't they just call a timeout? It's besides me, because we ended up having to call a timeout to get him off the field anyway. So my whole thing was, hey, he's struggling to get down the field. Mike Shanahan sees him struggling to get down the field. Why are you wasting a down? Call timeout. Call timeout. Instead, they let him limp all the way down the field, waste about 15 seconds. Then they prematurely snapped the football. He wasn't ready for it. He has to chuck it out of the back of the end zone, intentional grounding. So not only do you lose time, you're going to lose a timeout because Robert is injured. You lose yardage as well. I mean, that was a triple whammy. I mean, bad execution by us down the stretch for that one sequence of events. I was not pleased with everything that was going on. Nobody helped Robert down the field. Mike Shanahan didn't have the presence of mind to say, hey, let's ice a timeout. He's struggling to get down the field. And then we prematurely snapped the ball, forcing Robert to chuck it out of the back of the end zone and get an intentional grounder. So now we lose a down and we lose yardage. Doesn't get much worse than that. So Robert's now on one knee. He can't even walk off the field. He can't put pressure on it. He's hurt. It's obvious. I told the young fella, look, man, you gave it all you had. I thank you for everything you've done in this game. You're finished. Just go ahead on the sideline. You've done your part, man. And I just gave him a pat on the back. You did your part, man. You're a warrior. I thank you for your performance in this game. But enough's enough. You got to come out because I don't want you to hurt yourself further. I don't know the extent of the injury right now, but I don't need you making this thing worse. So he comes out the game. Kirk Cousins comes in, and I said, Kirk, I got confidence in you because this is why we drafted you. Remember everyone giving us flack on draft day for drafting 2 rookie quarterbacks? We just got Robert Griffin III. What do you need another rookie for? For situations like this. Would you have trusted Rex Grossman to come in the game at this point? I don't even have to wait for your answer to that. I don't even want your answer to that because I already know the answer to that. I don't even need you to tell me what it is. This is why we drafted Kirk Cousins, right here. You know, for everyone that asked us why and didn't think it was a good move, and I thought it was an excellent move. You can never have too many quarterbacks, and you can never have a stable enough backup situation. You always want someone that you can rely on, especially when you got a scrambling quarterback like we do. Guys are going to get injured because he's running around out there trying to make plays. And he's going to take some shots. Got to have the guy behind him ready to step in at all times, ready to go. And we saw Kirk Cousins get it done at Michigan State. He didn't get it done against the Falcons. Got it done one time with that pass to Santana Moss, but he threw 2 interceptions in that game. We lost that football game. But I didn't think that was going to happen here. I felt good. And remember, I told you it was destiny. We were supposed to win this game. So when Kirk stepped in, I said, look, Kirk, you're going to get it done. I don't know how you're going to get it done, but you're going to get it done. And Kirk calmly steps in. And again, remember, we had that intentional grounding. So now his first pass to Leonard Hankerson, beautiful. You know, gets us in third and manageable because when he stepped on the field, it was already 2nd and 18. So he was already in a bind when he got in the field. We had put him in a compromising situation. No worries. This man has ice water in his veins. The reason why he was the team captain at Michigan State, the reason why he was able to lead his team to so many victories in college, because the man's fearless. He makes throws. He makes plays. So I wasn't worried when Kirk came in the game. That pass to Hankerson let me know I'm settled down. I'm cool. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I got it. So now it's 3rd and about 5. 3rd and 4. Ravens elect to not bring pressure. They want to confuse the young fella. They want to drop back into coverage and make it as tough on this young fella to make it happen. As many eyeballs as we can get on him, make him make a mistake. I saw him looking at Santana Moss originally on that jerk route. I said, don't you throw it. Ed Reed is waiting. He's baiting you. Don't you throw that jerk route. He said, nope, I'm getting out of the pocket. You're trying to get me to throw that interception to Santana Moss. I'm not going to do it. And see, the beauty of that jerk route was Santana Moss went out, stopped for a second. He sucked that corner, Chris Johnson, up on the outside, who was supposed to be responsible for Pierre Garçon. But he was being nosy because he thought Kirk was going to jump on that route immediately. We only needed 4 or 5 yards. At that time, Santana Moss was past the first down marker. So he jumped back, and Santana Moss went up the field. And that's when he came out. And Pierre had went into the end zone. He was just standing there. I could see him on the corner of my television screen, standing there. I said, Pierre's there if you want him. Pierre's there if you want him. And he lofted up with perfect touch. Man, that ball seemed like it took 80 years to get there. I'm like, will you hurry up and get into Pierre's arms already, please? It took forever. And that Ravens defender was bearing down on like, please land in his arms. Finally landed in Pierre's arms. He cradled it with two arms over that football. Touchdown. I'm like, woo! I'm going nuts. But I realized there's more work to be done. We need to. We got to have it. You know, in past years, something goes wrong here. Whether we don't get the touchdown to win or we don't get a 2-point conversion. We find a way to lose this game in regulation. This doesn't even see the light of day. This doesn't go to overtime. But I said, we're going to find a way to get it done. So we line up for the 2-point conversion. Ravens see what we're in, they call timeout. They see our formation, they call timeout. So we spread them out. And just because it's Kirk Cousins, they don't expect the quarterback draw. Maybe if it's Robert Griffin III, they're looking for it. But Kirk Cousins, nah. Slow white guy, he's not running anywhere. Wrong. Kirk Cousins is a better athlete than you think. So just when you thought it was safe to drop into coverage and take away the pass, Kirk Cousins drops back, quarterback draw, gets in the end zone, 2-point conversion, good. We're all knotted up at 28. And I said, once we get even with these guys, and we go to overtime, we're going to win this game. Because the momentum, Uncle Mo is on our sideline chilling. He's got a cup of Gatorade. And he's mixing it up with a few players on the sidelines. Uncle Mo is chums with us right now. He's not going anywhere. He's comfortable on our sideline. He's not jumping ship. We got Uncle Mo, and he's not going anywhere. They're in trouble now. If this goes to overtime, they don't stand a chance. They better hope that we don't get the ball first, because if we do, we're going to score a touchdown. They won't even see the football field on offense. So, and I was glad that we got such a good kickoff return, because it looked like Kyle was trying to kick the ball out of bounds again. We were sweating bullets on that one, because if that ball goes out of bounds and they get it at the 40, they had one timeout remaining. Trust me, Joe Flacco was going to get them in field goal range. We were going to lose that game. However, That ball went over the pylon, and Jacoby Jones was adamant that it didn't, but it went over that pylon. Touchback. They got it at the 20, and at that point, John Harbaugh didn't want to chance it. He wanted to go to overtime. They won the toss. I wanted to toss back because I didn't even want the Ravens to get the football. But I said it's destiny. We're going to win this game. So they come out. They try to run the football. Doesn't happen. Get them off the field on third down. And I was nervous. It was third and long. And we blitzed. We didn't get there. And normally when you blitz and you don't get there, you're in trouble. They let Joe Flacco run around. I'm like, Joe Flacco is looking for somewhere to fall down right now. And we can't get to him. And he burst through that seam. And I'm thinking, oh man, he just broke contain. There's probably going to be no Redskin defender within 20 yards of him. And as he started to run, I didn't see anyone in the screen. And there goes one-man gang standing there. And I'm like, now you got to make the tackle. If he makes you miss, first down. If he makes a miss and gets this first down, they're probably going to drive down the field and at least get a field goal. But one-man gang says, nope, nope, no. Corrals him, holds on to him, help arrives. We stop him 2 yards short of the first down. They got a punt. Phew, we just dodged the bullet. Because when you blitz and you don't get there, and then the quarterback breaks contain, 9 times out of 10, they're able to scramble for a first down. But luckily enough for us, we had guys in the right position. Guys made plays. We stopped them. They had to punt. And once they punted the football, I said, you're not getting the football back. You're done. You are finished. And they kicked it off. And remember, I've been crying for the special teams to give me something. I've been crying for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. And I had basically come to the conclusion that the special teams was just going to be solid. Don't ask them to be special. They're solid. So ST doesn't stand for special teams for us. It stands for solid teams. I'm fine with that. But Richard Crawford put the special back in special teams with his duties on punt coverage, because on punt return, he was phenomenal. He had the 20-yard return in the first quarter. And when we needed it the most, biggest point again, when he caught it, I said, he's got space. And the one thing I love about Richard Crawford, I already said this, he goes north and south. That's what I want in a return man. A guy that's going to go north and south. He's not dancing. He's not looking for guys to set up blocks for him so he can find somewhere to run. He's not looking for somewhere to fall down. He's not looking to run toward the sidelines. Going north and south. Catch me if you can. And he burst through. Great blocking. Guys don't have to hold because he's hitting it quick. He ran out of gas. You don't let the punter catch you. Come on, man. Come on, Rich. That's what I was screaming. Come on, Rich. Don't let the punter get you. And worst thing you do is let the punter get you. But if he's going to catch you, you string it out, man. You were supposed to run as wide as you could and get as much yardage as you could. Don't let the punter tackle you. You were slipping and sliding and falling all over the place. But all in all, you got it done, Rich. That's what I'm talking about, man. Special teams stepping up in a crucial situation in the game, getting it done, putting us in field goal range. And you knew Kyle wasn't going to miss. Maybe if this was last year's team, Kyle Forbath misses his field goal. This Redskins team here, this is a different bunch. This is a different group. And I knew. I said, run it twice. Set it up whatever way Kyle wants it. Set it up. If he wants it in the middle, you put it in the middle. If Kyle wants it on the left hash, you put it on the left hash. And then go win the football game. And that's what they did. They went. They ran it. I forgot about 4 on first down. Put it in the middle. They went to send Kyle on the field. They called timeout. And Kyle said, hey, I want it on the left hash. They pulled him off. Had Alfred go. Put it on that left hash. Pick up about another yard or 2. Sent him out on the field. And as long as it wasn't blocked, it's money, man. It's Kyle Forbath we're talking about here. This isn't Graham Gano. This isn't Billy Cundiff. This is Kyle Forbath. This is absolutely money. And true to form, Kyle knocks it straight through, splits the uprights, drive home safely. We got ourselves a W. This is a different team. Different team. I'm going nuts at the house. This was so much fun. I mean, even if we would have lost this game, I was so proud of the fact that we were able to take this to overtime. Because in past seasons, this doesn't go to overtime. We find a way to turn it over on that last possession. We find a way to turn it over on downs on that last possession. Or we score the touchdown, but we don't get the 2-point conversion to boot. So we find a way to lose this game in regulation. The fact that we were able to get this to overtime speaks volumes about how this team never gives up, never quits, has a never say die attitude. I love this team. I love everything about this team. We don't play the best defense, but we get it done on defense. We have a dynamic offense, and when it needs to be dynamic, it's dynamic. And that's what you got to love. There's nothing empty about this team. You know, some teams, they can run the football, but when they need to run the football, they can't run the football. You know, some teams have dynamic offense. When their offense needs to just be efficient, they can't do it. We can do both. We can run it when we need to run it. We can be efficient when we need to be efficient. And in this, you know, last drive, we needed to be efficient. And that's exactly what we were. We took it down the field. We were efficient to get it to overtime. And then defense and special teams did the rest. And that's what a team does. Offense got it done. Defense got it done. Special teams got it done. You win the football game. We won all 3 phases of this game. We were better on offense. We were better on special teams. We were better on defense. We won the turnover battle. We had crucial, critical turnovers in this game that we forced. Special teams won this game. And we had to fumble on special teams. Luckily, it didn't come back to haunt us. But our coverage on Jacoby Jones in conjunction with the returns of Richard Crawford, we won special teams. We won defense. We won special teams. And the offense got it done. We won the game. Total team effort. And we just beat a good team. We're for real. We're legit. In case you didn't know, we're legit. Man, it feels good. You can't tell me that you weren't hyped. You weren't excited after this game. I mean, that was a huge win. Huge. Cowboys got it done. Who cares? They didn't look impressive in their win. Who cares they won? Because we control our destiny. I feel like we're in the driver's seat. When you look at the Giants' schedule, yeah, the Giants were able to beat up on the Saints. And I thought the Saints had a chance. They turned it over too many times. Who cares? The Giants still got to go on the road to Atlanta. They still got to go on the road to this Baltimore Ravens team. And the Eagles aren't playing that bad of football either. And they got to play the Eagles at the end of the season. So I like our chances. We're in the driver's seat. And the reason I say that is because we control our own destiny. If you ask me, we have a better divisional record than the Giants. You know, the Cowboys are right there. But we play the Cowboys. We control that. We beat the Cowboys. They're done. We'll hold the tiebreaker over them. So even if we slip up somewhere down the road and the Cowboys win and they're one game better than us when we meet them, we beat them, we're better than them. So it doesn't matter. If we're even with the Cowboys and we beat them twice, we're leaving. We're better. We're good. So I feel great about where we're at right now. And I feel like we're in the driver's seat to get into the postseason. Now, the interesting dynamic that is occurring right now is the fact that the Chicago Bears are self-destructing right before our very eyes. I mean, I said on the In the Lab Room Friday edition of the show that the Bears needed to win this game on the road against Minnesota. If they didn't, and they went to 8-5, they're in trouble because they got to play Green Bay next week. And we know how they struggle with Green Bay now. They could go out and win that game, and all is well in Chicago. But with Jay Cutler hurting his neck, and I think he'll be able to go because I don't think he got a concussion. I think he had a neck injury. He'll probably be able to play. But if they can't beat the Packers, and the Packers are expecting Charles Woodson and Clay Matthews back for this game, they can't beat the Packers, and they drop to 8-6. Look out, because here comes us, here comes the Cowboys, here comes the Vikings, here comes all these other teams that you let back into the race. And now, I feel good about our chances. I don't know about you. I feel good about our chances of beating the Chicago Bears out for a tiebreaker because a lot of their losses have come to NFC teams. They played the AFC South. You don't lose to many AFC South teams. The only team I think that they have lost to in the AFC South was the Houston Texans. So what I'm saying to you is, of all their losses, there's 6 losses. If they lose to the Packers and go to 8-6, 5 of them would have come in the NFC conference. That's huge because we have 6 losses. But remember, we lost to the Steelers. We lost to the Bengals. That's 2 losses right there out of conference. So that would mean at 8-6, if we get to that same mark as the Bears, we would have a better conference record than the Bears, which would mean we get in over the Chicago Bears in the playoffs if we would have finished tied with them. Of course, we got a lot of games to go in the season. But that's just to let you know that we're not far off from getting a wild card berth or getting a division. But make no mistake about it, I've already told you where I stand. My stance is, damn the wild card. I want the division. I'm greedy. I want a home playoff game. I don't want to go on the road and have to get it done. I want a home playoff game. Look, I just want to get in, first of all. I want to be one of the first 6 participants to cross that finish line in the NFC. I just want to be one of the first 6. So I have a seat at the table in the dance. That's all I want. So don't get it misconstrued. Don't get it twisted. I'm not being greedy in the sense that I either get a home playoff game and win a division or I don't want to go. No, I still want to take it to the dance. I'm just saying, we're at the point now where we can see the division. It's right there in front of us. Why not take that? Why not be greedy and take the division instead of a 6th seed in a first-round matchup at someone else's stadium? If we can get a home playoff game, why not? Haven't had one of those since 1999. So, it'd be nice. Man, it feels good. Feels great to get a win against a quality opponent. Now, I don't know if you've heard or not. You know, a lot of players would tell you, oh, I'm fine, I'll play next week. And players tend to think that they're better off than they really are. Because they always are optimistic. They want to think the best. They never want to think the worst. If you're a player, you want to believe that I'll be fine. But we've seen it before. You know, we had Brandon Merriweather tell us after the game against the Eagles, oh, I'm fine. I just tweaked it. I'll be ready to go next week. Only to find out he tore his ACL the next day. He was gone for the season. So we've had players tell us, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to suit up next week. Only to find out that they were done for the season. That's not the case with Robert. He's had an ACL before. He said it didn't feel like, you know, that felt. So I feel confident that if he says not an ACL, then it's not an ACL. Reports have already come out that he's already had his MRI. X-rays were negative, so he's good there. Had the MRI. They've shown no ACL or any kind of, you know, ligament tear. He has ligament damage because that's what a sprain is, but that's all he has is a sprain, which dodged another bullet, sigh of relief. Still don't know his status for Sunday, though. You know, don't know if he's going to be able to play. And I don't know if I want him to play if he's not 100%. I don't want him to go out there and make it worse. If you tell me it can't get any worse and he's good to go, fine, put him out there. But if you tell me that there's a chance that he can make it worse if he's not 100% and he goes out there and tries to play, I'm saying get Kirk Cousins prepared to play. We're playing the Browns. Let's see if we can get one on the road with Kirk Cousins if, you know, Robert Griffin III is not 100%. But again, we don't have any margin for error. So whatever we're going to do, we need to make the decision early in the week and prepare ourselves mentally for it and go full speed ahead with that decision. You know, don't play this we don't know game and have the team unprepared. I'm pretty sure we'll do whatever's in the best interest of the team moving forward to make sure that we put ourselves in the best position to win this game against the Browns on Sunday. This is a big one. The Browns are playing really good football. You know, they're winners of 3 straight. They're 5-8 on the season now. After starting the season slow, and you could argue they should have beat the Cowboys. They could easily be 6-7 right now. This Browns team is playing good football. This is not a cakewalk. For any of you who think the Browns are a team that we can just show up and win, sadly mistaken. We're in for a dogfight. This is going to be a hell of a matchup for us. And it'd be nice if we had Robert Griffin III, because this is a aggressive Browns defense. They're tough. They're hard-nosed. We're going to need all of our bullets in our gun and loaded and ready to go against this Browns team if we're going to come out of Cleveland with a victory. You know, they beat up on the Steelers, forced 8 turnovers. They were physical with the Cowboys. Cowboys eked out a victory at the end. They're beating teams up now. They beat the Chiefs up physically in this football game, 30-7, bruised them up, got a win. They're not afraid to mix it up. And so this is a dangerous game. This is a dangerous team. We'll talk more about the Browns later on, but I'm telling you right now, it looks good for us right now. It's a good time to be a Redskins fan. Feels great. And tell you what, this was fun. So much fun. And like I told you guys, each game gets bigger as we take care of business. And that's what we're doing right now. We're taking care of business. So, with that being said, I'm a Redskin fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskin spirit will never die. My Redskin spirit will never fold. And as always, hail to the Redskins. That was a big one. That was a huge one. I will be back later in the week. We'll talk Browns. We'll set the table for what is to come. You know, we'll find out what's going on with Robert Griffin III, what his status is. Then we'll come back. We'll talk Cleveland Browns, what it's going to take to get a win against the Browns, and what we need to do and what we need to be paying attention to moving forward. Don't worry about anybody else. Forget about the Giants. Forget about the Cowboys. Don't worry about anybody else. We take care of us, and we'll be fine. That's all we need to worry about. We take care of us, we're going to the playoffs. But one game at a time. I told you, we won this game, I was going to start talking reckless. I'll be back on Thursday, and I'll be talking reckless. I'll see you then. Enjoy this win. Bask in it. Soak it all up. We're 7-6. We're over 500. I see you. This is a 500 line. I see you. We're 7-6, man. Celebrate. See you back here Thursday. Have a good one. Enjoy this one. We'll be back on Thursday to talk Browns and talk what it's going to take for us to get a win and continue this hot streak and continue this march to the postseason. Have a good one. Damn, it feels good to be a Redskins fan.
The Redskins Report.